I want to thank you for taking our course, the CISA exam. Now, we covered 5 domains and areas of work that they've moved this exam to, and this is as of the 2011 standards. Now, the first domain that we talked about was the process of auditing information systems, and that's where we actually talked about the entire audit process, all the steps we'd go through. That makes up, according to the actual sites that you see from ISACA, about 14% of the exam. The next domain was on the governance and management of IT. And, of course, we looked at a lot of different models and what it really means to have governance and why we wanted to have governance, and especially in the work with IT. That was about 14% of the exam. From there, we talked about the next domain, which is information systems, acquisitions, development, and implementation. That was about 19% of the exam, and, of course, that was about the work that it takes to design a system from scratch or to buy a third-party system. And, of course, the work about going through the development life cycles, the different models that we had, getting it into a test lab, and then eventually getting it into implementation and production. The next domain was on the information systems operations, maintenance, and support. That one covers a little bit more of the exam. It's about 23% of the exam. And, as we went through that one, it was just about that, how the systems operate. We talked about the hardware components of a PC, how the infrastructure of networking fit together, looked at the OSI model, talked about TCP/IP, different types of network devices, and some of the security devices that are out there. And then in Domain 5, we talked about the protection of information assets. Now, this is a big part of the test. It's 30% of the exam. And there's a lot of security stuff out there. And so, actually, some of the things I enjoyed the most to talk about. We looked at what we're trying to protect, the types of controls, the technical, the logical, and some of the administrative controls. We talked about ways to evaluate those controls and the types of attacks that we can see, whether it's from our local area network, from the WAN connections, from wireless connections, from the different devices, theft of the hardware itself, different types of attacks that can be used against us. So that's what we looked at in that domain. Now remember, the exam is 200 questions. You have 4 hours. So that's about 50 questions per hour, a little more than a minute per question. And the passing score on a scale from 200 to 800 is to get a 450 or higher.